Hello, everyone. It's 2 o'clock right now, but we're going to wait about another minute or two to give other people a chance to log on. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pittcon 2022 Exhibitors Webinar. I'm Eli Apsey, the Pittcon 2022 President, and I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to join the webinar. First, I'm going to go through some introductions. We have John Stevens, who is 2022 Exposition Chair, along with Don Anzac, who's our Exposition Chair-elect. Have Tammy Yellum. I'm sure as a lot of people know, she's our Operations Manager. And to my right is Stephanie Crispin, who is the Expedition Coordinator, and she's also the one that keeps me in line. Below Stephanie's name has an email address and a phone number. So I'll give you a minute there, just in case you don't have it, to write it down. Okay. Just go over the agenda. We have 3 representatives from the Georgia World Congress Center and the Atlanta Visitors Bureau. They will give safety precautions and updates on safety precautions and regulations. They'll talk about the facility improvements and expectations of moving forward to into 2022. After they give their presentations, we'll have a little question and answer with the Atlanta folks. Also, to ask questions, make sure that you go down to the icon, the chat icon down there shown in the lower right-hand corner. And this way you could type in your questions and we'll make every attempt to answer them. Then after that, then John Stevens will talk about the Pittcon updates and the times, the booth pricing, and the various package options that we have. He'll also talk about the floor plan. Then after John will be Stephanie. Stephanie will talk about the booth ordering process, the refund policy, the Exhibitor Console, and then at the end, we'll have closing remarks and questions and answers. And I want to welcome Megan Wilkinson, who was the Convention Services Manager for the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau. She'll be the first one to show the presentation. Then along with Megan is Heather Kugler, who is the Events Services Manager for the Georgia World Congress Center, and TJ Rogers, who is the National Sales Manager for the Georgia World Congress Center. Also has another name too I have listed, in case you might see it as we go throughout the year, be Brad Minton, who is the National Account Sales Manager from the Atlanta Convention and Visitors Bureau. So right now I'm just going to transfer this over to Megan and she can start with the presentation.
Hi, everyone. You should be able to see You're Welcome to Atlanta, your microsite here on the screen. As Eli mentioned, I am the Convention Services Manager for your convention coming up in March of next year, and we are very excited to be welcoming you. Georgia as a state is open and welcoming events. So moving forward, we are having all the conventions that you guys want to come. But right here is your microsite. It's a great planning source for when you're planning to come next year. You can look at some blogs that we have. We keep this updated constantly for things that might be targeted to your interest. You can check out any of the restaurants that you might want to see within the different neighborhoods, and you can sort them on the left-hand side, as well as any events or 50 fun things to do, a couple new things that have opened up or have joined the scene since you guys were last here in 2016 would be the Atlanta Beltline, which is similar to the Highline in New York, right along with Pont City Market, and a bunch of restaurants and bars along this. It's a great outdoor space that you guys should check out, as well as the Georgia Aquarium just opened up a new shark exhibit that you can actually go shark cage dive if you're feeling a little adventurous. So there's a bunch of attractions that you can see through here, as well as any offers that are currently being solicited. And then the transportation. So once you get to the airport, how you can get to and from your hotel and the Pittcon events. And we also have our resource page, just in case you need to plan anything leading into March of next year. This is a one-stop shop for anything you might need for the airlines, transportation, hotels, restaurants, attractions, and all of the linked resources on this page as well. So this is really a one-stop shop for anything that you might need. We are currently about 12% fully vaccinated in the state of Georgia. About 23% has received the first dose. And the Mercedes-Benz is a mass vaccination site. And as of Thursday of last week, anybody over the age of 16 is able to get the vaccination. And that site at Mercedes-Benz will be open till mid to late May. So hopefully we will have everybody that would want to get the vaccine able to get their dosage. That's about all I have on the city front. So I'm gonna pass it over to TJ and Heather.
Hi, everyone. I'm TJ Rogers, and again, I'm the National Sales Manager for your account. Looking forward to welcoming you guys next year. I am going to share my screen. I'm going to stop sharing, and we'll go from there. So the Georgia World Congress Center is happy to share that we are the first convention center in the U.S. to achieve the GBAC Star accreditation for cleaning, disinfection, and infectious disease prevention. This designation is the industry's only outbreak prevention, response, and recovery accreditation. The GBAC Star enables our facility to create and maintain an organized, effective approach to work practices, protocols, procedures, and systems to control risks associated with infectious agents, including the virus responsible for COVID-19. Up on our screen is our full resource page of Getting Back to Business. Everything about our GBAC Star, touchless experience, all our protocols, anything that has to do with our response to making sure that everyone has a safe and effective meeting. And that resource will be provided for you as we go through on the Q&A slide. I'm going to also share with you some of the campus improvement projects that will be done or in the process of being completed prior to your visit with us next year. In December of last year, we completed the Orange Deck. This was a new campus improvement project that added 557 new parking spaces. It was a $26.5 million project that now is the former footprint of the Georgia Dome. It's adjacent to the Home Depot backyard at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We also just started last month the Andrew Young International, actually earlier this month, the Andrew Young International Boulevard Pedestrian Mall. This pedestrian mall is going to bring in the Centennial Olympic Park green experience down the central corridor of our campus, Andrew Young International Boulevard, creating a walkway to keep that outdoor experience inside. More networking spaces, and this will be completed in December of this year. This is an $18 million project. In conjunction with this project, we're also going to be doing the Andrew Young International Boulevard Bus Depot. This depot will run adjacent to the pedestrian mall and will give porte-cochere experience to our buses to be able to unload and load, as well as our shared ride experiences. This will be starting next month and will be completed in April 22. So you guys will be on the very tail end of that experience and may be able to take advantage of it. Most of our other projects have always ended ahead of schedule. And this is a $15 million project. And finally, the only other upcoming that we're still waiting to hear on is the Signia by Hilton, which will be a new construction of a hotel, a 1,000-room convention hotel on the north side drive side of campus. That will be Building C. We are still waiting to get the final release of that. And once we know more, we will share with you. This project is supposed to be completed in the winter of 2023, and it's a $500 million projected project. We also have a a landing page on our website, and we send out monthly newsletters to all of our convention attendees as well as our groups, so that we can keep everyone abreast of everything that's happening as we improve our campus. As Megan shared, Atlanta is fortunate that we've been operating events since COVID hit us all hard and changed our world, but since October of last year. In February, we hosted a 30,000 attendee event for Cheer Sport, their nationals competition. It was a 30,000 people on flow and a very successful event. Just last weekend, we also hosted a one-up cheer competition, which was about 7,500 attendees. And coming this weekend, Easter weekend, we'll have one of our largest events of the season, the Big South Volleyball Competition. We expect 50,000 attendees over a flow basis for the next four-day period. I'm going to also now share my screen and show you our website in case anyone wants to see what's happening with any of our upcoming events. We have a dedicated landing page that shows anything and everything that's happening on our campus that is elected to be public. I'm now going to turn everything over to Heather to give you guys a general overview of your event and we'll start that next question and answer session. Heather?
Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Heather Kula. I'll be Pittcon's event manager for the GWCC, so handling all logistics and everything operations. So here you will see the layout of our 3 buildings. Pittcon will be hosted in buildings A and B. As you can see, our buildings are stacked. So you enter street level and then travel down towards the exhibit halls. So starting with building A features 3 levels with 2 levels of meeting rooms. And then the first bottom level is the exhibit hall. And then over to the left, you will see the registration hall, which is street level coming off of the road and the pedestrian mall, as TJ mentioned. And then entering building B, you enter on the lobby level, and then there's levels 4 through 2 of meeting rooms, and level 1, the bottom floor, is the exhibit hall, which totals over 600,000 square feet of space. So our buildings are large, but since they're stacked, they're easy to navigate between buildings. And then let's see what else here. Yeah, so any questions about space, just let me know. You can actually click into our interactive floor plan on our website to travel and see different spaces throughout our building. And then moving forward, yeah, expectations for 2022, as TJ mentioned, we're excited to be hosting all of our future events. We have a very busy fall season ahead of us. We've been hosting our events since October very successfully and have great plans in place, fully staffed and all hands on deck with all of our events. We look forward to welcoming you in 2022. And if you have any questions for our Atlanta team, we'll be happy to take them at this time.
Muted. Sorry about that. We were muted. Thank you, Heather, Megan, and TJ for the presentation. Does anyone have any questions like to ask our Atlanta folks?
Will a vaccination be required to attend?
Eli, did you want us to answer these questions from a facility side? I know for the state of Georgia and the convention center, we do not require vaccinations.
Have any hotels been added since 2016 around the convention center?
Yes, there have been plenty of new hotels, and the hotel inventory continues to grow. As TJ mentioned, they're even adding another headquarter hotel to the GWCC campus. If you have any questions about particular ones, but we have about 11,000 total rooms in the downtown campus alone.
Have you had any shows that are similar to Pittcon, not cheering or volleyball? And if yes, how is the attendance for both exhibitors and attendees?
I'll take this one, guys. So we have primarily been hosting a lot of sporting events, youth groups, where we've got a lot of great learnings. Our first non-youth group will actually be later this month as the medical conference, and they are about 15,000 attendees, so similar in capacity. Also they're building a show and an annual event that's been in Atlanta for about 30 years. So there will be a continued learnings as we progress. They are in, I guess, the final planning stages of getting everything submitted for approval, but they are planning for a very successful event.
What are the headquartered hotels?
I can answer on a very base level of what hotels are typically the headquartered, but I do not know what you guys have chosen as your headquarter hotels.
You can.
Okay, it's going to be the Marriott. I'm sorry, the Marriott Marquis.
Okay. Are you making changes to the expo floor?
As far as, you know, from normal, we're starting off with a similar floor plan as we normally would. What's nice about our newer version of the floor plan is that you can select your own space. I'm going to be monitoring it throughout the year just to make sure we're starting off with space in between as we move forward and see where the year takes us. But at this time, we're starting with a normal floor plan.
This is just kind of expands the same question, which is what are we doing to ensure safety precautions going forward?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were going to pick that one up. I apologize on that. Right now, we're going to follow. We're investigating all that now. We're deciding what procedures we're going to follow. We might do temperature checks as you come in and things of that area. So we'll be talking with the folks down in Atlanta, and then we'll give you more information as the year goes by.
Will there be meeting rooms on the exhibit hall floor?
We do plan on having our meeting space. We're still offering the seminar rooms. Those will be available along with booth space reservations. As far as our other customer contact rooms, it's something we have to look into and maybe restructure a bit before we release those.
Does anybody have any more questions for the Atlanta folks? There's a few questions here that we can address at the end of the webinar. We can answer this last one. Is Pittcon offering transportation to and from the hotels and convention center as they have in the past?
Yes.
Will there be also be a virtual conference?
Right now, we're putting all our marketing efforts into a face-to-face conference. We'll have to see how things go later on in the year, but we're not leaving anything out. But right now, all our efforts are going to be the face-to-face. Also, if you notice on the screen with the Atlanta questions and answers, there's a series of links that you can link onto. You don't need to write them down because at the end, we're going to be storing this presentation on our Pittcon website. And at the end of the website, at the end of the webinar, Stephanie will give you instructions how to log into that. Is that it on the questions for the Atlanta?
We did have one, and today I was going to allow you to talk, but I typed this question in. What is the process by which we would select our own booth space?
So we're actually going to get to that later in the webinar. Here, I'll go over our whole booth reservation process for you.
Okay, well, thank you, Megan. Thank you, Heather, and thank you, TJ, for your time. Putting on an excellent presentation. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And I'm sure there'll be actually more questions as we go out through go through the year.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right now, I'm going to turn it over to John Stevens, and John is going to start off with the with the schedules and talk about the floor plan and the various packages that we have. John?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Eli, and thank you, Megan, TJ, and Heather. We look forward to visiting with you in Atlanta. Before I begin discussing our Pittcon 2022 schedule, I'd like to take a moment and join our president, Eli, the Atlanta team, and everyone in our Pittcon family in extending this invitation to all of you to join us in Atlanta for Pittcon 2022. We look forward to hosting you in Atlanta and bringing everyone together again, face to face. Our expo team will work to make Pittcon 2022 a productive meeting and exposition for you, your clients, and our communities. As always, we host Pittcon with several goals in mind. By connecting scientists worldwide at our conference, we aspire to advance and enrich scientific endeavors to enable the exchange of ideas and information and to showcase the latest in laboratory innovation. The proceeds we raise from each and every Pittcon directly fund science education and outreach in communities across our nation. To learn more about all of this, please visit our website and join us in Atlanta for Pittcon 2022. On the slide you see now, you find a summary of the schedule for Pittcon 2022. We continue to be proactive in identifying opportunities to enhance the Pittcon experience for our attendees and our exhibitors. We are working to make this a productive experience for everyone. Our schedule, booth price, and floor plan are the product of this work. In this schedule, you see that move-in for our exhibitors begins on Thursday, March 3rd. The conference and on-site registration opens on Saturday, March 5th. Stephanie, for some reason, my screen is showing you guys. Are we sharing the presentation?
Okay,
Bear with us,
let
it might have
me,
to reshare.
yeah, sorry about that. We're just gonna share here. Do you see it now?
I do not. Wait a sec.
Okay.
No, I don't. There we go.
Okay, sorry
Okay.
about that.
You okay, John?
Yep, there we are.
You ready for the next slide?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll give folks a sec to look at this screen. As you see, on March 3rd, Thursday is when our exhibitors will begin moving in. The conference and on-site registration will open on Saturday, March 5th. Our technical program begins on Sunday, March 6th, and the exposition itself opens for attendees on Monday, March 7th. As you can see, Pittcon 22 will close Wednesday afternoon, March 9th. If you have any questions about the schedule, please remember to type your question or comment in the Zoom chat feature illustrated earlier. Most of you, I think, are doing that now. We'll address these at the end of our presentation. Stephanie, could you please move to the next slide? Thank you. In this slide, you find the breakdown for booth pricing. The first thing you may notice is that we decided not to raise our booth prices this year. A 10 by 10 booth with pipe and drape sells for $3,275. We also negotiated a cost savings for you in the design of 2 booth packages. These packages include items many exhibitors have typically chosen to get directly from GES. The first package includes a 1 6-foot draped table, 2 chairs, a waste basket, and an ID sign. The second package includes all of that plus electricity. These packages are only available for a 10 by 10 booth or a 10 by 20 booth. If you purchase these packages, when you first log in and you secure your booth space, you will realize a cost savings over what you would get if you bought those same items directly from GES. So we negotiated to give you a cost savings with these items. And you can see down below, it's a cost savings of more than $50, depending on which package you purchase. Stephanie, could you please move on to the next slide? In this slide, you see a new concept that we brought to Pittcon recently. It's called the tier booth pricing system. And this pricing system is designed to give you the opportunity to achieve a cost savings when you decide to expand your booth. What you see here is an example of an exhibitor that has chosen to purchase 12 booths. If you purchase 12 booths, the first 5 booths you will purchase at a rate of $3,275. That'll give you a total for those 5 booths of $16,375. The next 5 booths you purchase will be at a rate of $2,975. And you can see the sum that would give you. And the last 2 booths that you would purchase would be at a rate of $2,675. You purchase all 12, but this is the breakdown of how each of those rates would be applied for each of the given number of booths. When it all is said and done, you end up with 12 booths at a cost of $36,600, and a cost savings of $2,700. Without this tier booth pricing, you would have been charged $3,275 for all 12 booths. So that's what this will deliver for you. And again, it's designed and is intended to help you when you expand your booth size. If you have any questions about the booth price, the tier booth pricing, or the other 2 packages that we introduced in the earlier slide, please remember to type your question or comment in the Zoom chat feature. We'll address those questions and comments at the end of the presentation. Stephanie, could you please move on to the next slide? Thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity now to highlight a few features on our exposition floor at Atlanta. The service center you see will be in the back. The expo office where you will find Stephanie and me will also be in the back. Excuse me. Posters will be to the left of the floor, and the exhibitor lounge is adjacent to the restaurant in the back right. We will have 2 entrances. We will have 2 Apple souvenir booths at the back left and back right of the floor. And the Pittcon Park will be located near the rear of the floor. In addition to these fixed locations, I'd like to call your attention to the red lines on the plan. Because of the design of the hall, these lines indicate locations where there is a gap behind the booths. To illustrate how this would impact booth selection, you see that in the row of booths where there is no red line, we can have a 20 by 20 booth allocation. We can't do that in those sections that have a red line. So in the green, you see a 20 by 20 booth in a row of booths where there is no red line. To the left of that, you see that red circle with the red X in it. That indicates that in that location, we can't actually put a 20 by 20 booth. However, we are still able to accommodate inline booths. And you see that there with the double-headed green arrow. You can still have, for example, a 10 by 20 or 10 by 30 booth in those sections. If you have any questions about the floor plan, please remember to type your question or comment in the Zoom chat feature. We'll address them at the end of the presentation. While this ends my portion of this presentation, I look forward to meeting and speaking with all of you. If not before the conference, then during the conference week in 2022. If there is anything we can do to help you, please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us on our Expo team. While Stephanie is your lead contact, all of us are ready to assist you in having a productive and memorable Pittcon experience. Our exposition coordinator, Stephanie Crispin, your lead contact for Expo, will now bring our presentation to a close as she discusses the remaining portion of our agenda on our last 4 slides. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you, John. Now we'll transfer this over to Stephanie. Stephanie will start talking about the booth ordering process.
Okay, thank you, John, and thank you, Eli, as well. I'm going to discuss the booth ordering process and schedule. I'm also going to talk about the Exhibitor Console and our booth refund policy. So to begin with the booth ordering process, this is fairly new to Pittcon. It's something that many of you probably did for the first time last year going into New Orleans. And for many of you, it's probably very new and very different. So on Monday, April 5th, which is about a week from today, booth space reservations are going to open up for 600 square feet or more. If you're interested in this amount of space, please feel free to contact me at chrisman@pittcon.org. I'll work closely with you to pick your place on the floor, and then I'll reserve the booth on my end and send you a confirmation. I'll also be reaching out to those of you who usually pick this amount of space within the next week or two to get you on the floor. On Monday, April 19th, it will change slightly from that, and booth space reservations will open for under 600 square feet based on groups of seniority. So the seniority are broken down into groups of 10 years, and each group will have a week to sign up for space before we open to the next group of seniority. So at the start of each week, from April 19th to June 8th, booth space reservations will open to the new seniority group. And the way this is done is you'll receive an email directly from Pittcon. So this will go to all company contacts, and it will contain information as well as the company reservation credentials, your login link, and your password to get into the reservation. And then you'll be able to actually go through the process and select your booth, click into it, merge it, reserve it, all from an interactive floor plan. You'll do this all on your own at your own speed, on your own time. And then finally, this will wrap up June 8th, and booth space reservations will open to all new exhibitors, and the form will also become available on the website. So if you happen to miss your seniority placement, no worries there. You can sign in at any point after that. So for example, if you were part of the April 19th group and you missed that week, you can come in the next week and still sign up for space. This is just the reservation schedule I have for you. This is nice. So if you know where your seniority is at, you can take a look at that date, mark it down in your calendar, and then expect to see an email from Pittcon on that date for you to sign in and select your booth. If you're not sure of your seniority, just feel free to contact me. I'll let you know where you're at and when you can expect to see the email. I also want to go over our booth refund policy. This is pretty standard for Pittcon throughout the years. So to reserve your space, the online agreement and payment is due before the space will be assigned. For those of you under 600 square feet, whenever you're selecting your booths, they'll be highlighted in green as reserved. And once payment is made, they will change to assigned and be yellow. If your order is over the 15,000, then a minimum of 15,000 is due to secure your space. And for those companies, final payment will be due by Friday, September 3rd. This is another nice thing to just keep track of for your 75%, 50, 25, and no refund deadlines. I also want to talk about the Exhibitor Console. Most of you are probably familiar with it. It's going to be your #1 resource moving forward throughout the year. So it's kind of your dashboard or your hub for all of your specific company information. Some of the important topics in the Exhibitor Console that I want to highlight are going to be where you update basic booth information. This includes your products and services for our online exhibitor list. Also your account and payment center where you can pull your own financial statements. We also have our digital promotion packages available in the Exhibitor Console. So if you've ordered a digital promotion package, you can manage it here and you can also upgrade it. When the service manual and GES service manual information becomes available, it will be posted here. You will also find your required exhibitor documents, such as a certificate of insurance, your booth layout, and your registration for your booth staff. And lastly, I just want to point out sponsorships, which will become available sometime over the summer, and those will be found in your console as well. So the last thing I just want to point out, as always, is our website. For any important Pittcon information and updates, you'll want to use the website. It goes hand in hand with your Exhibitor Console. So any questions you have can be found there. That wraps it up for us at this time. I think we're going to open it back up for some questions. You can use the chat feature to drop those in, and then Eli will wrap it back up for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Okay, Scott's going to be looking through the questions.
What if the employee responsible for setting up the booth last year is no longer with the company? How do we receive a seniority email?
Yeah, if you would like to send me an email to chrisman@pittcon.org with the new company contacts you'd like me to update, I can do that and we'll switch it in the system for you.
Regarding refunds, what about if we have to cancel due to COVID? Will there be a 100% refund?
Yes, there will be. If it's the reason is because of COVID, we will refund.
How many exhibitor badges do we receive?
You'll have the 4 badges and then the 4 corporate guests.
Was that per 10 by 10?
Yes, correct.
Any other questions?
That is? Okay, anything else? Again, I would like to thank you all for attending the webinar, especially on your busy schedules. We do want to make make Pittcon a pleasant and fun environment. I'm looking forward to seeing every one of you.
Eli, there is one more question.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I just saw that. Have you considered delaying registration like many other shows are doing?
Yeah, we will be. I'll have to talk it over with our registration coordinators, and I'll get back to you on that. We'll have to get back to you on that one.
I do think that is it. Thanks, John.
Okay. Thanks, John.
Sure. Okay. Again, I want to thank you again for participating in the webinar. Again, we look forward to seeing you all in Atlanta, and I can't wait till we all meet face to face and be enjoying our time together. Thank you again.
Thank you, everyone.